Have you ever felt the need to keep something to yourself? Not because it wasn't beautiful, but because it was too precious to share. That burning dream inside you, the one that keeps you up at night, that vision of a future only you can see, it's not something everyone will understand. And sometimes, the most dangerous thing you can do is place that dream in the hands of someone who can't see past their own fears. There's a reason your dream feels different. It wasn't born from comfort. It wasn't shaped by small talk or safe choices. It came from a deeper place, your soul, your hunger, your calling. And that makes it sacred. But what's sacred can also be fragile when exposed too soon. One careless word from the wrong person, and that fire that once roared inside you can start to flicker. You see, some people live in boxes. Not physical ones, but mental cages built from fear, doubt, and limitation. They stopped dreaming a long time ago. So when they see someone else daring to believe, daring to want more, they get uncomfortable. Not because your dream is impossible, but because your courage reminds them of everything they gave up on. When you tell small-minded people about your big dream, it's like handing your future to someone who's never seen beyond the walls of their own past. They don't mean to harm you, but they do. Not with fists, but with words soaked in disbelief. Be realistic, they say. Don't get your hopes up. That's not how life works. And slowly, if you're not careful, you begin to shrink. You begin to second-guess the very thing that once made your heart race. But here's what they don't tell you. Every person who ever built something great, every soul who ever changed the world, first walked alone with a vision no one else could see. They were doubted, mocked, ignored, and still they walked forward because they knew something powerful. Belief starts in silence. That's the reward of guarding your dream early on. It stays yours. It stays pure. It's not tainted by doubt or torn apart by people too afraid to believe in themselves, let alone you. When you keep your vision close, you give it time to grow roots before the storm hits. You let it become strong enough to stand, even when the world tries to shake it. There is a power in privacy, a magic in moving quietly. When you don't need applause to keep going, when your fire is fueled by purpose, not praise, you become unstoppable. That's the mindset of those who rise. Not because they shouted the loudest, but because they trusted their path when no one else did. You don't owe anyone an explanation for dreaming bigger than they can comprehend. You don't need permission to chase something beyond their imagination. You only owe it to yourself to keep believing, to keep building, to keep walking. And here's the truth. The right people will recognize your light without needing you to dim it down into words. They'll feel your energy before they hear your plan. But until then, protect your dream like it's your lifeline, because it is. There's a reason you're watching this right now. Deep down, you know your dream matters. You know it was given to you for a reason, and you know not everyone is meant to understand it. So let this be your reminder. Not every voice deserves access to your vision. Some will water it. Others will try to drown it. Learn the difference. Move in silence. Move in silence. Build in silence. Believe in silence. And when it's time, your results will make the noise. When you protect your dream, something powerful begins to happen. You start seeing the truth. Not just about your vision, but about the people around you. You begin to notice who lifts your energy and who quietly drains it, who believes in possibilities and who only sees problems. This awareness is your weapon because not everyone in your life is meant to go where you're going. Some are only there to remind you of what you must rise above. There are people who won't clap until the world tells them it's safe to. People who can't stand the idea of someone they know doing something they were too afraid to try. They won't say it out loud, but they'll joke about your ambition, dismiss your progress, roll their eyes at your effort. And if you're not careful, their words will begin to echo louder than your own thoughts. These are the dream killers, not because they want to destroy you, but because they've already surrendered to the idea that nothing better is possible. And misery, it loves company. It thrives on convincing you to stay where it's comfortable, predictable, and quiet. It wants you to fit in, not stand out, to survive, not succeed. But if your dream lives in you, you weren't built for survival. You were built to lead, to break through, to rise. Understand this. People can only speak from their level of consciousness. If someone's never believed in themselves, how can they possibly believe in you? If they've only known fear, failure, and settling, they'll speak to you from that place. And if you trust their voice over your vision, you'll inherit their limitations. But you're not here to live their life. You're here to live yours, fully, fearlessly, and without apology. Most people don't even mean harm when they discourage you. They think they're protecting you from disappointment. But what they're really doing is projecting their past onto your future. They're showing you their ceiling and calling it reality. But your dream doesn't belong in their box. It doesn't need to fit their view of what's realistic. What's realistic for them is not what's possible for you. That's why you have to be careful, not just with your words, but with your time, your energy, your environment. Because energy is contagious. If you stay around doubt long enough, you'll start to question everything. If you surround yourself with excuses, you'll start making your own. If you keep explaining your vision to people who don't even have a goal, you'll start shrinking it just to make them comfortable. But comfort never built anything worth remembering, and playing small doesn't serve the world. There is no pride in watering down your greatness just to make others feel safe. The truth is, your courage will make some people uncomfortable. Your discipline will expose their laziness. Your focus will highlight their distraction, and your success will remind them of the work they chose not to do. Don't apologize for that. Let it be a mirror. Let it be a standard. Let it be proof that it can be done. Greatness doesn't grow in crowded rooms filled with average thinking. It grows in quiet spaces where vision is honored, where belief is unshakable, where faith in the unseen is stronger than the noise of the world. You don't need 100 voices to validate your dream. You just need one, yours. So stop giving energy to those who don't feed your fire. Stop lowering your frequency to meet someone who refuses to rise. And most importantly, stop trying to make people understand a destiny that was never meant for them. You weren't born to convince. You were born to create. And if that means walking alone for a while, walk stronger. Because every step in silence is a step in power. The ones who doubted you, they'll talk louder when you succeed. The ones who mocked your vision, they'll pretend they always believed. But by then it won't matter. Because you won't be chasing validation. You'll be living in alignment. And that's what true freedom feels like. Protect your dream. Choose your circle wisely. Speak less, do more. And when you feel the pressure to give up or give in, remember this. The ones who try to bring you down are already beneath the place you're heading. Keep rising, keep building, keep believing. Because in the end, your dream doesn't need the approval of small minds. It just needs the permission of a bold heart. And you already have that. When you stop explaining yourself to those who can't see your vision, you gain something far more valuable than approval. You gain clarity. The noise fades. The distractions lose power. And what remains is the pure, unshakable truth. You were made for more. Not more comfort, not more attention, but more impact, more purpose, more becoming. Silence becomes your weapon. Discipline becomes your language. And every moment you choose focus over validation, you build something unbreakable inside you. You stop seeking motivation from the outside world and start becoming it from within. You realize that chasing applause is a game for the lost, but building in silence, that's the path of those who are found. When you protect your energy, you stop leaking power. You stop wasting it on people who don't get it, don't want it, and don't care. You stop trying to light a fire in someone else when your own flame is still catching wind. And instead of convincing them to believe in you, you turn inward and begin believing in yourself louder than ever. This is where true strength is born, in the moments when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when there's no spotlight, no recognition, and still, you show up. You push, you stay committed, you build in the dark, knowing one day it will all be worth it. That's not just motivation, that's identity, that's who you are. And the more you protect your space, the more you begin to rise above the noise. You stop scrolling through other people's lives and start designing your own. You stop asking for opinions and start making decisions. You begin to recognize that your environment isn't just a background, it's a blueprint. It shapes your thoughts, your habits, your beliefs. And if you want to build something legendary, you have to live like it now. That means saying no to what's easy. It means rejecting comfort when it calls you back into mediocrity. It means choosing growth even when it hurts. Because the truth is, greatness demands isolation. Not forever, but long enough to build the mindset, the muscle, and the momentum required to break through. This is the season of becoming you. Not everyone will understand it. Not everyone is supposed to. But if you wait for them to catch up before you start, you'll never move. You'll stay stuck in a world of hesitation, watching time pass by while your dream fades into regret. And regret is far louder than rejection, far heavier than failure. Because at least failure means you tried. Regret means you let fear speak louder than your calling. And that pain of knowing you had something great inside you and didn't protect it, it doesn't go away. But it doesn't have to end like that. You get to decide what story you write from here. You get to choose who has access to your mind, your time, your dream. Not everyone qualifies. Not everyone deserves to be in the room where you're becoming the person you were always meant to be. So protect it. Protect your routines. Protect your focus. Protect your dream with the same intensity you'd protect someone you love, because this dream is part of you. It's not an idea, it's a responsibility, a fire that chose you to carry it. And if you guard it long enough, build it strong enough, nurture it hard enough, it will grow. It will rise. It will transform not just your life, but the lives of everyone who comes after you. That's what's at stake. That's the reward for your silence, your sacrifice, your focus, so move differently. Think bigger, speak less. Let your actions become a message so powerful, it drowns out every doubt that ever tried to hold you back. Not with noise, but with results, with consistency, with undeniable proof that you never needed the world's permission, only your own. The ones who protect their energy win the long game. The ones who stay quiet when the world is loud. The ones who grind while others gossip. The ones who believe when no one's watching. They rise, not by chance, but by choice. And right now, in this moment, you have that choice too. To keep building, to keep believing, to keep showing up no matter who doubts you, who leaves you, or who laughs at you. Because when it's all said and done, your dream will not be remembered for who understood it. It will be remembered for what it became. The moment you stop seeking validation and start honoring your own path, something shifts deep within. You begin to see that your dream isn't just a goal, it's a mirror. A reflection of who you could become if you stop waiting for perfect conditions and start becoming the person your vision requires. That version of you, the disciplined one, the focused one, the unshakable one, is already inside you. But it only rises when comfort dies. And comfort can't live in the same space as greatness. The dream you're holding isn't a random idea. It's a signal, a message from your higher self pulling you forward. It came to you for a reason. It speaks to you because it was meant for you, not your friends, not your family, not the critics who think they know better, just you. That's why it feels so alive inside you. Because it's yours to carry, yours to protect, yours to build. But with that gift comes pressure, doubt, resistance. And that's exactly how you know it matters. No one fights for something they don't care about. The fear you feel, it's just a test. A question from life itself asking, do you really want this? Are you ready to fight for it? Or was it just a fantasy? And your answer doesn't come in words. It comes in action. It shows in how early you wake up when no one's watching, how many times you get back up after failure, how deeply you believe, even when there's no proof, just a whisper inside telling you to keep going. This isn't about talent. It's not about luck, it's about endurance. The ones who win aren't the smartest or the strongest. They're the ones who refuse to stop. The ones who guard their dreams so fiercely that nothing, not even their own fear, can shake it loose. Who's so focused that distractions can't find a way in? Who's so aligned that no loss, no rejection, no delay can convince them to walk away? Because when your reason is deep enough, your resolve becomes unstoppable. And yes, it will get lonely. Yes, people will misunderstand you. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're obsessed. But obsession is the price of mastery. Change is the proof of growth. And if they don't understand your journey, it simply means they were never meant to walk beside you. You're not here to be understood. You're here to evolve. You're not here to fit in. You're here to break patterns, to rewrite stories, to create a legacy that's louder than your silence ever was. And that doesn't happen by being liked. It happens by being locked in. So let them talk. Let them question you. Let them doubt. None of it matters. Because while they're wasting time commenting on your journey, you're writing a chapter they'll one day wish they were part of. You're building something they'll later call luck, forgetting the sacrifices you made in silence. And that's the beauty of it, the grind, the discipline. The sleepless nights, the setbacks, they don't break you, they shape you. Every no you hear sharpens your yes. Every delay strengthens your timing. Every obstacle you face is another chance to prove, not to them, but to yourself, that you're built for this. The dream doesn't require perfection. It requires consistency. It requires belief. It requires you to keep showing up long after the excitement fades, long after the crowd goes quiet, long after everyone else would have given up. That's what separates those who wish from those who become. So stop hesitating. Stop waiting for someone else to believe before you do. You are the start. You are the spark. Everything begins when you decide to move without needing permission. You've already come too far to quit. You've already felt too much to turn back. And you've already seen what happens when you play small. Now it's time to see what happens when you go all in, with your heart, with your mind, with your soul. The world doesn't need another echo. It needs your voice, your courage, your story. Not the filtered version, not the safe version. The real one, the powerful one, the one that rises even when it's broken. The one that walks forward even when the path is unclear. You don't need the crowd to cheer. You just need the fire to burn. Let it burn so brightly that it lights the way, even when you're surrounded by doubt, especially then. Because that's when it matters most. You have a dream. Not everyone will understand it, and that's okay. They weren't supposed to. But you do. You feel it, you know it, and if you honor it, if you truly protect it, it will take you places you can't even imagine right now. Just promise yourself this. You won't let small minds silence a big calling. Not now, not ever. Every great transformation begins with a single decision. The decision to stop living by default and start living by design. To stop letting the world define your limits and start defining them for yourself. That shift doesn't come from noise. It comes from stillness. From that quiet, burning realization that you were made for more. And no one else can unlock it for you but you. You can't afford to keep lowering your light just because others refuse to open their eyes. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to become. That deep restlessness you feel, that subtle tension between who you are and who you're meant to be, that's not anxiety. That's your potential trying to break free. That's the future calling you to rise above your circumstances, your excuses, and your fears. It's time to listen. Because if you wait for the world to catch up, you'll wait forever. They won't always see your value until you've proven it. They won't always understand your journey until they see the result. But results come after belief, not before. If you let the outside world shape your inner world, you'll always live beneath your capability. And that's not just a waste, it's a tragedy. You weren't built for safety, you were built for growth. And growth demands pain. It demands discomfort, isolation, and long stretches of unseen effort. That's what it means to evolve, to grow so fiercely that you no longer recognize the person who once settled for less, to outgrow the conversations, the habits, the environments that kept you ordinary. But that path is lonely. It's full of moments where you question everything, your worth, your pace, your direction. That's when most people stop, not because they aren't capable, but because they thought doubt meant failure. It doesn't. Doubt is part of the process. It's proof you're stretching. It's the resistance that forges resilience. Keep going, because everything you're chasing is on the other side of persistence. The results you want, the respect you crave, the life you see when you close your eyes at night. It's all possible, but it requires you to stop being available to things that shrink you, to stop entertaining people who drain you, to stop explaining your worth to people who don't even value themselves. Every time you let small minds into your dream, you dilute it. You compromise the vision to fit their comfort zone. And slowly your fire dims, not because it's gone, but because you allowed their fear to put shadows over your light. You don't need that. You never did. You need alignment. You need silence. You need the kind of tunnel vision that scares people who've never committed to anything. You need to become so serious about your growth that it makes casual people uncomfortable. Because you're not here for casual results, you're here to make impact. You're here to leave evidence that you existed, fully, unapologetically, and relentlessly. You'll lose people, but you'll find yourself. You'll lose comfort, but you'll gain clarity. You'll lose distractions, but you'll gain discipline. And what you'll build from that space, no one will be able to take from you, because it wasn't handed to you. It was earned, forged in late nights, early mornings, and countless moments of unseen grind. That's what makes it real. There's no shortcut, no cheat code. Just the raw, honest work of becoming someone who no longer folds under pressure, but thrives in it. Who no longer looks for permission, but gives themselves authority. Who no longer waits for the right time, because they are the right time. The most dangerous version of you is the one who finally decides they're done waiting. The one who doesn't need applause, validation, or a cheerleading squad to keep moving forward. The one who trusts the vision more than the noise. That version of you, that's who the world needs. That's who your dream has been waiting for. So don't let doubt win. Don't let opinions win. Don't let temporary setbacks define your long-term story. This is your moment to rise, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. You're not here to live on repeat. You're here to rise, to expand, to break through. Let this be the moment you stop shrinking for the sake of peace. Let this be the moment you choose growth over approval. Let this be the moment you remind yourself that your dream is not up for negotiation. It's not a debate. It's not a group decision. It's a calling, and only you can answer it. The cost of staying small is far greater than the cost of being misunderstood. Protect your dream like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. The life you were meant to live is on the other side of fear, noise, and doubt. So silence the noise, feed the fire, and become everything you were meant to be. Every breakthrough starts when you stop pretending you're okay with average, when you stop lying to yourself just to keep the peace, when you stop shrinking your vision to fit the limits of people who've already given up on theirs. The truth is, most people aren't living. They're just existing, trapped in loops, numb to their potential, and they want you to join them. Not because they hate you, but because your ambition exposes their comfort. Your growth threatens their excuses. Your vision reminds them of what they never had the courage to chase. And that's why your dream is safe. It's not something to throw around in rooms where minds are closed and hearts are bitter, because people who don't believe in their own power will never believe in yours. They'll mock it, minimize it, dress their fear up as realism and call it advice. But underneath the words, all they're really saying is this: don't leave me behind. But you weren't born to stay behind. You weren't made to live within boundaries someone else built. You were designed to rise, to grow into something so powerful that even you barely recognize what you've become. That doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. The choice to go where most people won't. The choice to show up when no one claps. The choice to keep believing, even when doubt screams louder than faith. You don't need agreement. You need alignment. You don't need to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. That's wasted energy. Energy you could be using to build, to train, to execute. Because every minute you spend trying to get small minds to see a big vision is a minute stolen from your mission. This is your time to reclaim your power. To stop asking for permission to do what you already know you're meant to do. You don't need to be ready. You need to be willing to fail, willing to start before you're confident, willing to get uncomfortable. Because confidence doesn't come first. It's a byproduct of action, not by hiding it forever, but by guarding it against the toxicity of small minds that can't comprehend greatness. When you share your vision with those who see through their own limited lens, you risk having your flame snuffed out before it has a chance to grow. Doubt spreads like wildfire, and fear, once planted, can poison your focus. But when you hold your dream close, nurture it quietly, and act deliberately, you create an unshakable foundation. Every great success began as a secret, a whisper in the dark before it became a roar in the light. The difference is always the same: the willingness to keep going when the world says no, to stay committed when the crowd says stop, to believe when there's nothing but uncertainty in front of you. That belief isn't blind, it's deliberate. It's a choice to trust the process, to trust yourself, to trust the unseen future that only your persistence can bring to life. It's important to remember that dreams are not a casual hobby. They are a sacred calling. They demand sacrifice. They demand focus. They demand you to say no to distractions, to excuses, to the easy paths that lead nowhere. And sometimes they demand you to say no to people you love, not because you don't care, but because caring sometimes means having the courage to outgrow those who can keep up. You may feel isolated. That's the price of growth, but it's a small price compared to the pain of a life half lived. The sting of regret is sharper than loneliness. The weight of what could have been is heavier than any burden you carry today. So when you feel the urge to share your dream with someone who shrinks it, remember this: you owe it to yourself to protect that vision until it is strong enough to stand on its own. Use that solitude to build resilience, to sharpen your skills, to deepen your passion. Every quiet moment of work behind the scenes adds up. Every unseen effort stacks upon the last, creating momentum that no external opinion can stop. Momentum turns into breakthrough. Breakthrough turns into impact. And impact turns into the kind of legacy that transforms not only your life, but the lives of everyone who comes after you. You are in the process of becoming unstoppable. But you have to own that process. You have to embrace the discomfort, the setbacks, the silence. Because that's where the real work happens. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. Not in applause, but in persistence. Not in approval, but in action. If you wait for everyone to understand, you'll never begin. If you wait for support, you'll never soar. The power lies in your hands, in your heart, in your mind. It lies in your decision to rise above the noise and focus relentlessly on what matters most. Your dream. Protect it fiercely, grow it patiently, fight for a day. And when you do, you'll find that the small minds trying to hold you back only serve as proof that you're on the right path. Because the bigger your dream, the louder the resistance, the harder the climb, the greater the reward. And when you finally reach the top, you'll look back, not with bitterness or regret, but with pride. Pride in your courage, pride in your resilience, pride in the choice you made to believe in yourself when no one else did. That pride will be the fuel that keeps your fire burning for the rest of your life. So don't share your dream with small-minded people. Instead, share it with your own heart. Feed it with your actions. Protect it with your focus.